This is James from Drone Deer Services. And in this video, we're going to go through two missions the same day, a first and a second mission. Very windy day. I'm going to include the kind of the screenshots from the actual Mavic 3T itself. What happened, and we'll find this out pretty soon. I I failed to, rookie mistake, center pin Rick, that's what he says. I failed to format the SD card in the drone after my flights on the prior day. So if you don't do that, the card fills up and then you're going to get a message that says the card's full. But this was a pretty cool deal. I flew this mission, this area was they did a controlled burn. This is the same area a couple weeks ago. I did a video of some deer out in this exact area. Didn't have a whole lot of luck finding deer in this area. It was because of the burn, I believe. But here is a doe or a deer at this altitude. You can't really tell. So I investigate some more. And the cool thing you're going to see here, IR, again, the savior. This is going to be pretty brushy, and what you're going to see is it's difficult to see the deer with the zoom camera. IR goes right through the kind of the branches and the buds, some leaves, and we can see the deer very clearly in IR. And then we kind of figure out pinpoint, and then we can go zoom. But even though this system had a controlled burn, you can still see the deer trails, which is pretty cool. You'll notice that this deer is still on the trails, walking the trails even after human beings started a fire here, and kind of browsing, hanging out, but all by itself. So deer behavior, I don't think it's a buck. It may be a doe that's going to have a fawn. Not sure. I didn't see any fawn activity in this particular on this particular day. But you can see here it's thick, and there's the doe through the brush with the IR much easier to see, or that's the deer through the brush with the IR much easier to see. So there it is again, and there's the animal there. So again, if you're a wildlife enthusiast, I recommend you get the thermal option, but that's kind of my thinking if you're looking for wildlife to photograph. So did a couple switches back and forth from IR to zoom here. Looked at the trails, looked at where the next place might be that I would find deer, and I kind of left this deer to her or himself, and continued flying the mission kind of along this transition line here. And you can see the more results of the controlled burn. Maybe it wasn't a controlled burn, but I have a little bit of issue with it because it's fawning season, it's turkey hunting season, it's morel mushroom season, and we're burning up habitat. So if this was a decision that someone made, maybe rethink that. Maybe do it a little bit earlier in the year. But in the upper Midwest here, it's been Northwest Ohio. It was warm last week and it cooled off over the weekend. In fact, we had snow. I saw the snow plows off of the county trucks, and that good thing we didn't get a lot of snow. But here I am, just trying to figure out where the next animals might be. I didn't see any groundhog activity. That's another thing. So, the groundhogs, hopefully they made it, stayed in the burrow, whatever. It's a bad way to go, smoke inhalation. But, groundhogs are rodent, but they're still pretty cool. So this is that same area I flew a couple weeks ago. I saw a lot of deer in it. I'm kind of figuring out where I'm going to go next. Kind of give you a low level panoramic of the area. I'm at about 50 feet off the ground, and just kind of giving you a spin around so you see the types of vegetation here from that level. And then here you can see heading back towards the launch site. Kind of an overcast day, very windy. You can see some of my wind numbers, 18, 17, 27 miles an hour. I kept getting wind warnings from the Mavic, which is a good feature. And that would be up at the unit itself, not down on the ground. Some kind of anemometer in the unit. But I'm going to go in for a landing here, getting pretty low on battery up there in the upper left of the screen at like 7 minutes left. I'm going to come in for a landing, very windy like I said, but this Mavic 3T put itself right where it needed to go, right on the ground, and I switched out the batteries. For the second mission, get back up in the air, and I kind of want to find some more wildlife, so I'm trying to think where they might be. Again, it's very windy. I'm thinking out of the wind, but able to kind of put their back against the wind so they can sense any form of danger coming in and be able to watch. So as I was thinking about this, and my hunting partner and I, we go to kind of areas that we know hold deer, but we don't see any, or we don't have any signs. So where are they? And we're not spooking them off. It's just, where are they on this particular day? And that's another feature with the Mavic 3T. Here I'm just popping over by the river, 2 white spots a quarter mile away, and zipping in here to see what I see. And this is kind of, I don't know, strange, different, whatever. I need to know a lot more about deer habits. The MSU, Mississippi State University Deer Lab, they do some great work down there. I just haven't seen all their information that's available on YouTube. There's a shout out, MSU Deer Lab on YouTube. But these look like 2 very young deer. And in fact, there might be, this might be their first spring. And their coats, I don't know if they've blown them out or they're shifting to the warmer weather coat, but they just don't look, I'm not going to say they don't look healthy. It's just it looks like it's old hide or old fur. And I didn't spend too much time here. These are what I think are 2 young deer, going through some variations here. You see the wind's 23 miles an hour. The 3T is 243 feet up in the air, and it performed very well. Kind of giving you some shots of these animals. Not a big day to see squirrel, and not a big day to see groundhogs. But here's the 2 deer kind of along the river, kind of out of the wind, and this is what I saw. Kind of giving you a look. They're browsing, oblivious to the Mavic 3T something. And so I'm going to leave them. I'm going to go for another trip around, see what I can see. Again, I get up in the air, I go IR, and another animal of some sort. Bounce around between IR and zoom. The IR can see right through can't physically see right through the branches, but has a lot easier time picking up the thermal images through the branches than you can see through the zoom. Now here's the actual deer. This is a pretty good shot because it shows the leafing out of the trees. We're kind of beyond the bud stage on these trees, and they're leafed out pretty good. And we're still picking up deer. And that particular deer was, just kind of laying there on the ground. Maybe go back to that, not sure. But again, looking for some deer. Didn't want to run out of battery because it was a windy day. I have 4 batteries. I had plenty of juice left, but I wanted to kind of get the mission complete. it was kind of cold. The wind chill factor, even though it was April, uh, because of the high wind, and right at this moment it's like 17 miles an hour, 16 miles an hour, very gusty, blustery. So I find another kind of herd of deer. In this particular shot, I think there's 10 or 11. It's kind of cool. They were on a kind of a little the side of a berm or a hillside, little hillet or some kind of elevation change out of the wind, and a nice grouping of them. So as I'm bouncing back between IR and zoom, you can kind of understand. Again, there's a lot of deer down there, but if you're looking through branches with leaves, it's difficult to see them. IR helps immensely. And this is a pretty mature deer. And then those other two that shown previously, they look pretty young, but this grouping looked to be, more mature grouping of deer. And I don't know why that would be. Again, I don't know everything there is to know about whitetail deer, and I want to learn, but there's a lot of stuff. And here's just the grouping in IR, and I'm kind of using that kind of target square to kind of get in the right position. With the wind, you get buffeted around a little bit, so it kind of makes distance photography difficult. The camera has to kind of re-zoom itself, re-focus itself is the word. But Mavic 3T did a very good job. Here I am kind of setting up for a zoom, going in, looking for these animals, and kind of checking them out. Did not see any fawn on this mission. I shifted to split screen mode. This would be zoom on the right and IR on the left. You can tie the zoom together. I don't like doing that. It's just me. But what you see on the right is indicated by the box on the left side. So that kind of gives you an idea how the zoom works. And, I'm learning all this, so it's pretty cool. I can kind of figure out how many animals or targets I have, in frame. So that's pretty cool. And again, 261 feet up. The wind's bouncing all over the place. And if you're looking at yellow warning at the top, it tells me my memory card's full. And again, that was my rookie mistake. I should have formatted the card, because what my process is I download the videos or the media. I download the media to an external hard drive, and then I should get in the habit of immediately formatting the SD card that goes in the drone. I just messed up and didn't do it. So I double checked. I flew a pretty cool mission again today, kind of a city mission, and I'll get that on the YouTube channel. But just kind of give me an idea. You can swing around. The wind was pushing me around a little bit. It's pretty cool being out there in the wind, finding where the deer were in the wind. This would be helpful information, for the future. Finding out where the deer in this particular public piece hang out when it's windy, and you kind of duplicate the thought process if you wanted to kind of go after them. This would definitely be kind of a spot and stalk mission. If the wind is right, I'm doing a lot of listening to the Hunting Public podcast because of my commute, my drive over here. And Zach does a very good job explaining, certain things, and how he pushes the envelope a little bit more on windy days, because the wind covers the noise. So I also recommend those. That's the Hunting Public podcast, and so far all those that I've listened to, the kind of lead caster would be Zach, and then a lot of times he pulls different guys in from the group to talk about certain things. And I think they're very interesting. Make the drive go fairly entertaining. and I'm just bouncing back and forth looking at these deer. Again, no concern, no disturbance. They're just kind of hanging out in this kind of hillside here. There was a point in time when three of them broke off from the group, and I don't know what that was all about. Um, I saw a thermal object down kind of in the bottom right corner on one of the shots. I don't know if a coyote's lurking around. You know that there are coyotes in this area, but here's some deer on the move. Three pretty close. Three pretty close in size. And it was just a kind of a first and second mission. Not finding a lot, and then I wind up kind of hitting the mother lode, even on a very windy day. And I learned a lot. Kind of finishing the video, the drone deer services will kind of move to, response to questions from watchers, I guess, subscribers. We'll put content up that more aligned to what you're kind of what you'd like to see. So if you give me input like that, I can certainly concentrate there. Again, if you like the videos, give us the thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, that would be great. I'm not in this to make a bunch of money, but I'm in it to help people that go out in the woods. I'm in it to maybe help out older folks that are interested in getting into the technology. I personally have learned a lot. There's a lot of good information there. I'm in no way, shape, or form a technical expert with the drone. However, I'm becoming more and more proficient after each flight. And this was a windy day. I put the drone up twice and was successful. Very accurate landing on the return. I'm completely over my fear of landing. You'll see in the next video that I post, I'm not quite sure that I'm over my fear of putting the drone above a lot of water. So you'll kind of get that in the next video. I encourage you to watch that. Let me know if you want more or less narration, shorter or longer videos, details. What would you like? Details of the drone, more of the area. I'm not a deer expert. I've hunted deer for a while. I hunt deer with a group of folks that, we share information about deer activity. I have a kind of a local hunting partner that I spend a lot of time in the woods with. I'm out there with the preacher man, and we were out kind of doing some mid-spring scouting, and I wound up taking 17 ticks off of him. So be very careful with that. Make sure you have a tick kind of preventative thing. None of them wanted to stay in them. I mean, but they still are going to attach just to bother the dog. But the Boomer Outdoorsman, Drone Deer Services, like and subscribe, and hope to see you around in the woods. Thank you. Bye-bye.